Hello, welcome back to my monthly prediction. If you're new to the channel, my name is Heather Ness. I'm an intuitive numerologist and spiritual mentor. And this video is all about looking at the month of January 2025. Looking at the numerology of the month, and then I also meditate on the energy of the month, and I kind of share some messages that I get from that. So that's what today's video is going to be about. First of all, if you are new to the channel, or if you're not new and you haven't subscribed yet, please do it right now. The button is right there. By subscribing, it really shows me support. Obviously, it doesn't cost you anything to do that, but it does definitely allow me to grow my channel. I am a little bit newer channel, and my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers in the next 90 days or less. And so I would much appreciate it if you click that subscribe button right now before we move forward. Perfect. Thank you for doing that. Much love for doing that. Now, having said that, let's talk about January 2025. First of all, it is a year 9 in numerology, a universal year. Now, if you haven't checked out your own personal year, make sure that you click on the links in the description below. I have the links of your personal years and what they mean, how to calculate it. It's a 3-part series that I did last month, because what a personal year is, or a universal year, it's an overarching energy that we're going to feel for that year. And so collectively, it is a universal year 9. Okay, and a 9, how did I come to that number? If you add 2025 together, the 2, 2, and 5, it equals 9. So overall, collectively, what we're going to be experiencing as a globe, as a collective, is, and personally, we will feel this a little bit, this energy. It will be there because obviously what happens universally or collectively does impact us in a small bit, but what will be more felt on a personal level is your personal year. So again, if you haven't done that, make sure you do that when you're done with this video. But in a universal year 9, it is about change. It's about transformation. 9 represents, it's like the end of the core numbers, right? You have core 1 through 9, and it's the end. And so a 9 sort of is a completion number. It's a number of like death and rebirth. It is a number of transformation. It is a number that holds the vibration of all the other numbers. And so the beauty in being in a universal year 9 is that we're going to experience some change, you know. And when I meditated on the month of January, obviously January, it happens to be the first month of the year. So it is a month 1, right? And 1 is all about leadership. It's about creative and new starts. 1 energy is very like creative energy. It is an energy that has great ideas. It is an energy that is like a leader, one that sometimes is a little more self-focused. And that's really, really beautiful for it being January, brand new year. All right, there is huge. So if we actually look at the year, or the month, excuse me, it happens to be actually like a 10, right? So if we take a 9, how we figure out a universal month, you take the year that we're in and you add in the month to it. So a 9 plus a 1 equals 10. And so this is a 1 month universally also. So it is it's a really strong number 1, right? Because it has a 0 behind it, which amplifies that number. A 0 in numerology is sort of like a cipher, and it magnifies the energy. And so the beauty in that is that this is like a brand new, obviously it's a brand new year, but it really is like the start of something quite big. I feel like, this is a month when I was sort of meditating on the energy of the month, that it's going to be a very it's going to be a month of change. It's a month of movement forward. Not like fast change. It's going to be like slow and steady change. We're not going to feel it in like a chaotic kind of way. Sometimes change can feel a little chaotic because it's very fast. I feel like this is going to be a month that's going to be like slow and steady. When I was sort of meditating on that, I really got the energy of change. We're going to feel like an inner change change, an inner strength also, because the number one is not only new beginnings, but it's also like strength. And so I really feel like this is a month where we're going to feel like this inside, like personal strength. We're going to feel an excitement of something new. We're going to feel the want to create new. And so I feel like that's just really beautiful energy. So when I was meditating on the month, I got the color purple. And the purple really is like the link between like the spiritual and like the physical. It's like a beautiful mix of the two. And so I really feel like this is going to be a month where we're going to feel like very inspired to move forward with our ideas. Ideas many times when, I think I've talked about this before, many times we actually get very like divine inspired inspiration. They come to as like, they're called downloads, but for me, I experience them as just like a thought or like a really cool idea that I kind of feel excited about when I hear it. And what's so beautiful about those things and this month is that it's a time in which we not only get the information, like we get the ideas, but it's also a month in which we feel grounded enough to like move forward with them. Obviously January is a month when a lot of people do like New Year's resolutions. I actually want to rephrase the New Year's resolution, because many times we hear New Year's resolution and it's not something that has like staying power, right? It's something that I'm going to go and I'm going to do and I'm going to do like really committed to it, but it usually like fades out in 2 or 3 months, right? And sometimes it fades out much faster. I can't tell you how many times I started a new diet January 1st, but it's one of those things that doesn't really have like staying power. So for this year myself, what I'm going to rename it to is a promise to myself, right? So instead of a New Year's resolution, I'm going to make like a secret promise to myself of those things that I really want to have or achieve or accomplish this year. I really feel like this is going to be a year where people are going to really be able to make moves in a very positive way, as long as you're following your joy, right? Sometimes we move forward with things because it makes logical sense. Financially, we can see where it's going. And sometimes we hold back on the things that like the path isn't as clear, or the forward, how it's going to help us make money isn't as clear, or the benefit. But what I really feel that we're being called to do right now in this month, January 2025, is to move forward with things that bring us joy, things that make us happy, things that really light us up, things that excite us. I feel like this is really where abundance is going to be, but it's going to be in a way that like we didn't expect it to be. So I'm not saying go quit your 9-to-5 job and go do this thing that makes you excited. But what I am saying is that realize that you can do both. Realize that this new thing that excites you, that brings you joy, that lights you up inside, that when you think about or talk about, like you radiate happiness, is something that you can do while you're doing your basic 9-to-5, right? While you're doing your other things, while you're doing the logical thing that makes you, moves you forward. This thing that lights you up, you can do. The key is that it doesn't have to be like big action. Many times when we think we have to do something, we think we have to make like this drastic change. It has to be so severe or so like, sure and so committed, like on our mind. At least for me, I know that unless I go way extreme, it's like, am I fully committed? But what I'm realizing as I'm becoming more seasoned as a person, in years of experience on this earth, I'm realizing that many times the biggest change comes from not big changes, but small, consistent changes. Small, manageable things that don't feel overwhelming. The key is to follow your joy this month. It's really to follow your joy this year. This year, I really feel is going to be a year of like coming back to who we are and like what makes us happy. And the most successful people with the biggest gains this year are going to be the people that follow their joy. So if it makes you happy and it lights you up, find a way to intertwine it into your daily life. Find a way to move that idea forward. like this right here for me. I love talking to all of you. I love sharing my insights. I love sharing my thoughts. And I love being here, hopefully for people that are looking for a little more joy in their life, looking for something that's very high vibration, and that's looking for a way back to themselves. I have found personally that my spiritual rediscovery, like I like to call it, has been more of like a coming home to who I am in the deepest level. And I really feel that this is going to be a month and a year, like a month to start off, a rediscovery of who we are on the deepest level. When I was meditating on it, I got the images of like, leadership change. And that obviously is very obvious because I live in the United States and we're having a new president shift, right, in our energy in January. But I want everyone to like know that regardless of your political views, know that things that happen, sometimes the best things happen when it was unexpected. And know that whatever is happening in our life is happening for our greatest good, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. And so, this is going to be a month of change. It's going to be a month of like new beginnings, but I don't feel it's going to be drastic. I don't feel it's going to be something that's painful or chaotic. It feels very like smooth and very like slow but steady. And that's the beauty in this month in January. I feel like we're going to have slow, steady change. Remember that, I think one of the reasons why we're really being called this month to share the message of like follow your joy, follow your happiness, is because remember, like attracts like. When you put out in the world love and happy and joyful energy, you're going to, when you radiate that kind of energy out, it reflects back to you, right? That energy is reflected back to you. And so remember that the more happiness we follow and the more joy we have, the more happiness and joy we receive. And that right there is really like the message that I want to share for the month is, it's about diving into who I am and what makes me happy. Instead of New Year's resolutions, we're going to do self-commitments. We're going to do a sacred promise to ourselves. And then take inspired, aligned action towards that thing that brings you joy, towards that vision, that goal, that life, that business, whatever it is, right? Take a small and steady step. Make a commitment to yourself that you do something small each and every day that moves you forward to that success. Because I really feel that this is going to be a year where when people lean into their joy and their happiness, it's going to be reflected back to them in a really big way. I also saw like a very like ethereal dragon when I was meditating. And to me, the dragon represents like strength. It represents wisdom. And that really goes along beautifully with the color that I got. The color purple is very like, it's like where the spiritual divine like energy meets the physical world. And so when those two things come together, it's going to be like, it's really beautiful. It brings you to a place that can bring you an infinite amount of abundance and prosperity and also joy. Because sometimes we view prosperity and abundance as separate than joy. Like we have to do this thing that brings us that financial abundance, but it doesn't necessarily light me up or make me excited. And this is going to be a year that we're going to find that those two things really connect. Dragon also really represents like manifestation in a huge way. It's a very like positive, auspicious kind of symbol. And I really feel that this is the start of like something really expansive for everyone. It's something that's going to really expand in a really beautiful way. That brings you more joy and happiness and love into your life, and also abundance. And whatever that abundance means to you, it's just really a beautiful time. So I encourage you this month to dive into your heart, dive into really what makes you happy. Take some time out to write down those sacred personal self-promises, We're not doing New Year's resolutions. We are doing sacred self-promises. And then take inspired, aligned action. Nothing drastic, nothing hard, just a little bit. Make a commitment a little bit every single day to move you towards your future. Because this is going to be a year that they're going to be like quantum leaps. Things are going to happen when you follow your joy. I feel like things are going to happen in your life that are not explained. Like you're like, wow, that was so like magical how that happened. That was so unexpected how that happened. Remember, when it comes to manifestation, the key is to take aligned action towards what you want, but be open to receiving that in a way that was unexpected, because many times things happen in a way that sort of like is intertwined but different than what we could imagine. And I really feel like in 2025, people are going to have quantum leaps, which is really kind of interesting because the energy of a 9 universally is a release time. But I feel like this is a release of who we were or how we were, or like old paradigms or old ideas, and moving into a new time, a transformative time that's going to like quantum leap us into a new like timeline, a new life of true abundance and joy. And so it's such a beautiful message. I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video and spend some time with me. I truly enjoy spending time with you. And if you are enjoying my content, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, show me some love. I would love to hear your sacred promise to yourself. What is a promise that you are making to yourself for your joy, for your happiness, for whatever lights you up? I would love to share in that that personal ritual, if you will. Thank you all. Much love. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.